side, which I'm correct, which means I'm basically a prophet, is basically what this means. No, not really. I'm just very bored and very tired at the same time. So let's get into the match. FaZe versus Mousesports, map number 2, and I'm saying I'm bored sarcastically, by the way. We'll see if FaZe can win this one 2-0. And if Mousesports will be able to bounce back, of course. FaZe, we saw it's actually probably a lot closer. The thing is, right, is that those Godsent matches that we watched there versus FaZe, despite the fact that they were somewhat entertaining, they were kind of like slugfests, that it was very one-sided on all 3 maps. Very fast. We saw Godsent kind of dominate the first one. It was like FaZe just like trucked through the last 2. It was a really weird like turn of events. This one seemed a lot closer, so the game in itself in a longer form of things is a lot more interesting. And we'll see Nico pushing in directly there to pick up that pistol kill, lurping back around, and he grabs the second one, looking for a third fallout too. But at this point, Mousesports is wrecking FaZe on this pistol. Look at that, it's flawless in the CT side. And they were able to pick up so many rounds off the course of that one. So Mousesports will go up 1-0. And FaZe now will have to work from ground zero to build up their own economy. They're going directly into it, though, so they didn't even get close to finding a plant there. It's Tech 9 armor buy. In the case of Rain, and maybe 1 or 2 others, it'll be a Deagle armor buy. But for the most part, it's that straightforward second round from these guys. And, well, we'll see what they take it in a moment. Also waiting for this cat push too, which has become a kind of popular thing, but all that waiting, it doesn't mean crap if you can't actually find the kill. And not only that, but Rain moves in to find a second one. All of a sudden, things are looking great for FaZe in this round. Although Chris J and Speedy do find those 2 quick trades, and Easy moving in here, trying to dodge the shotgun shot. Does it? Looks a little, yeah, interp there for a second, but Easy's still going to take down Oscar. Chris J looking for the final couple of kills here too. Moving in, we're just going to see 2 still up and running for Mousesports here. Just trying to get site control back. The way FaZe is playing it, though, is really good. But actually, that's a great shot from Chris J. Shuts down AZ in through there. And Alu, though, peeking back in. He's got it under control. He's going to shut out both of these remaining players. And with that, FaZe are going to find the trade round, bringing this back to 1-1 immediately. And that will give FaZe the opportunity now to really upset the scales. And the only question remaining at this point, I mean, obviously, 4 of these guys going for SMGs, so it's going to be an interesting round regardless. But Mousesports, the real question for them is, of course, and this is always the question when you get in these situations, I mean, do we force it or do we just let them play this out? Do we let them get those few rounds, or do we kind of let this go crazy? It looks like they are going to try and force it up here to respond to it and break FaZe once again, although it's not going very well for Mousesports. They immediately lose A site controls. FaZe just roll right into it. And now Oscar going to be waiting up top. He's one of the few that didn't buy in, but he's also the closest to being able to put himself into a retake position. The other 2 are really boxed out of this one. It doesn't really even look like they're going for it. I think this has already been called off. Oscar's doing what he can, but nade's obviously going to hurt, and he trips himself over that ladder there too, which is going to mess up the big run of things. But hello, how did you not get that kill? Oscar somehow is still alive right now. Not that it really matters. He's only got a USP, but there we go. Someone finally took him down. It's Jacob that does it outside. Speedy, nice deagle shot there. Does find Jacob to respond to that. Some more of these players going down. Ultimately, the round's already over. It's FaZe, and this is going to cause the upset against Mousesports. They won't be able to keep things crazy. And wow, they actually take down everyone there. So what if you guys try to escape? But they won't be able to do that. FaZe shut them all out. No saves at all. And this is where Mousesports do have to go for that full save. Whoop, didn't mean to pull that up. This is where Mousesports have to go for their full save here, just to get their economy back under control. And this is like freaking perfect for FaZe too. T side obviously wanting to stack up as many rounds as possible, getting the economical advantage right from the get-go and forcing the CTs on to save first. You basically cannot ask for a better start than this. It's obviously going to be tested, of course, when we get into the real first gun round, but even getting those few crucial rounds is going to be so impactful, especially if we get towards the later end of the half and FaZe are kind of running out of ideas to execute. The thing is, right, is this map is now so based on how much you can get that outside control. From the couple times I've been able to spectate it, even though I've been spectating mainly lower end matches on this one, the fact that they're going to now get these rounds, they basically do it for free, and at the moment, Jacob just kind of styling on these guys, trying to push aggressively against them. This is great for FaZe to not only build up the round share a bit in their favor, but also just get a bit of an economy going, so when and if they do start struggling on their gun rounds, then obviously have things a bit better. Finally, someone that's playing aggressively, though, does grab something from Mousesports. That's Speedy moving in, picks up the Mac 10, but ace control is very much in the hands of... Oh, no, Oscar! Still manages to recover. Alu. It's a very long time to react to that and actually find that kill, but nonetheless, Still one for the CT. Vaughn was down it. In comes Speedy out of nowhere. Drops down in the vents. Shuts out Rain. And we're even all of a sudden in a 2v2. There is a chance for Mousesports to clutch this. I'm just talking about how great it was that FaZe would get a few of these rounds for free. Well, not anymore. But thankfully, it's still a pretty clean closeout once it gets down to the 2v2. AZ and Keo grab those 2 final frags. But now, of course, after that one save, Mousesports buys right up. So I think for FaZe, though, this is good priming for Mousesports. Brought down the money quite a lot from FaZe's end of things here. And it's going to put them onto an eco. Maybe not immediately after this, but within probably 1 or 2 more buys, FaZe will be back down onto pistols. That's where Mousesports can truly strike and get back the CT advantage. But also a really good test here for FaZe. Like I said before, there's no op in play, which the outlet control is going to be rough. But Keo peeking in there, trying to do some damage, and the players peeking in from the A main shed. But oof, unfortunately, it only gets shot back at him. And also a perfect nade essentially goes into Jacob, bringing him down to 56 HP. FaZe wanted to play this aggressively and try to kind of catch Mousesports off guard, but it seems the almost exact opposite of this has been thrown at these guys now. Jacob has been wrecked. Kiyoshima made that aggressive push up the doors, and while it looked like he was aligning it right, just couldn't connect any of those shots, and they ended up firing back at him. He was only, even if he had retreated, I think he was already down to like 30-ish HP, so he would have gotten knocked out of there pretty quickly as soon as the actual fight started. It's not the way that these guys wanted to play it out, but they are slowly allowed to push over here towards the secret area, where 3 of them are going to head downstairs. Now, because they were playing this so passively, I'm not actually sure how many of them spotted this. This is like kind of dangerous if they didn't really see this coming. But as they start to round the corner, Nico in the new hallway here is going to peek back up, just swipes one of them, and he's happy with it. Back down, looking for another. He's going to get it. The whole hit's gone to on a crap, to be completely honest. And while Alu finds that trade against Nico, Jacob going to be jumping back down there to try to assist, but it's a 2-on-4 at this point. Focusing on the plant, which they should be able to get that at least. But Speedy very quickly at the double windows, moves in, shuts out Alu, eliminating him. Jacob's your only man still standing here. He has no clue where most of these CTs are going to be moving in from. Just hunting on that window, looking to punish Speedy when he does push out here. Smoke's coming off the one exit. Oh, thankfully, I believe Speedy, who almost got wrecked by Chris J due to a team flash, it's saved by Oscar at the very end there, who picks up that kill with it off. So the Mousesports actually win the first gun round, and this opener may not be as dominant by FaZe as I would have thought just a few rounds back here. Nonetheless, though, still enough cash to go for the buy once again, and they'll pick it up, but still avoiding the op. Like I said, Alu's still left with 2,200. He easily could have gone for one here, but they've decided against it. That early outside op battle can be so crucial for FaZe, but just getting that outside control in general. But for some reason, FaZe are deciding against it now. Again, it's part of this new strat they're trying to employ at this point, but we'll see how this plays out as we get later and later into the half. And right now, they're just making a whole lot of noise outside on top of the roof. Probably going to be opening the windows. That's exactly what they're doing. Maybe priming up to toss a couple of smokes and whatnot inside of there too, if need be. But because of the fact that they have been pressuring outside, Chris J is allowed to move all the way up towards the side of Big Red. He knows there isn't any pressure moving out here anytime soon. There's no one on top of the silo watching for that either. It's very free for Mousesports to move around here and investigate on the outside area, since Chris J is just not really being punished at all. The thing is, though, is that Chris J doesn't have any support, so in the event they do decide to move in and it's somewhat quiet, then they go for a secret push. He's going to be completely on his own, and there's the smoke for it. That's the secret path smoke. There's no follow-up to it. The rest of FaZe now are still sitting up on top. It's really a fake, and Chris J is going to know this. Chris J is like already called this out to his teammates and whatnot, which means this plan for FaZe may just be a complete flub, and it's going to start out that way too. Nico punishing AZ, shutting him down. Where's the follow-up? FaZe are being so passive right now. Haven't even moved into the site yet. Finally, smokes that are playing into the site, and they're going to rush it. They've got to check corners, though, and there we go. They move in. Dennis holding his own to start us off. More on the way in. Jacob finally finding a kill. Turns around to grab a second one. We've got a player hiding in the corner there where Nico picks that up, but Alan moves in, and Jacob again. Jacob saves this one. Brings it into a 2 versus 1. And now it's up to Speedy to clutch 1v2. Just going to creep himself up to the vents from the other side. Spots Alu at first, but Alu also spots him pretty much the exact same time. They get into a duel, but it leaves Speedy eventually out in the open where FaZe will punish. They'll grab their 4th round. They traded out against Mousesports, and again, the CTs will be reset here. Brought down. They could go for, yep, and they're going to go right for it. I was about to say, they could go for the buy they wanted to. It's just going to leave Oscar with the kind of crap buy. But the rest are going to be able to get rifles at the very least and a somewhat decent amount of utility. They do decide to go for it instead. See what they can grab to try and keep this scoreline closer. They have to now. They absolutely cannot let FaZe get this big of a lead on T side. with this still being the CT-sided map that it generally is kind of being perceived that it is. Granted, that's still to debate at this point, but from my experiences spectating it, most of the games I've seen have been pretty far T-sided. There's going to be Nico, though, peeking in, finding Keo. That's the second time Keo's been punished from that position, too, and he opens the hole there, and he kind of just sticks in the open towards it. Hasn't really been able to kind of find that first opening impact kill that he's been looking for from here just as of yet. But now he also, just as another note, too, finally Alu picking up the op there. Trying to see if he can hunt down anything early on. He hasn't spotted this guy sitting outside of the warehouse just yet, as Chris J is kind of playing around with it. But Chris J is going to pose too big of a threat to these guys right now anyway. Now is where he may be able to do so. Sneaks up, just making sure there's nobody on that catwalk area, but boosting up too. He spots one. Fast trade from AZ, though. That's all they're going to be able to get down there, as it's brought into a 4-on-3 now, and the rest of FaZe are looking to start their execute in towards A. To make some noise at least. Jacob lining up that kill, and the immediate follow-up onto Nico. Jacob in these past 2 rounds alone has been on fire, but there's Oscar, and now he's got a rifle to work with too. Another even 2 versus 2. Jacob smoking things off in the garage push into the site. But they're boxed out. Speedy didn't want to push through this Molotov, so they're not going to do it together. Jacob, again, just lining these guys up. And he gets a 4K. And this was followed up by what I believe was a 3K on the last round as well from him. So Jacob just going off right now. Thinking some huge plays for FaZe. Now at 5-2. And Mousesports, again, just falling behind round after round. It's not looking too good for them at all here. Hopefully we start seeing them impact, or possibly a pause maybe in the future for them too, just to try and reconsider how exactly they're playing the CT side. But for now, it's a full eco. FaZe, from the looks of their push, know it. They're not taking it slow. They're going to go right for it. They won't even let them get to the site. They're lining right up, but unfortunately, they're also giving them plenty of open shots there. Nico finds that kill on Jacob. That seems to be, at the moment, the only one that they've been able to get, though. Oscar worked his way down and through the vents. And with the USP, he's going to head up. And, oh, if he got that knife kill, that would have been freaking awesome. But unfortunately, Rain just had a little bit of it too much health. So, for the undercut with it. And unfortunately, either poorly called by a teammate, or he just overestimated the amount of health Rain had. That, or he just knew he was dead anyway. I mean, he had a USP, so it wasn't like he was really losing anything by doing that. Just might as well go for it. Sometimes the YOLO way is the only way, and in that case, it certainly was. Could add a little spice to CS life. So FaZe again here, taking a slower outside path now that Mousesports have the guns in power once again. But finally, is this from that position he's looking to frag from? Maybe. Looks like he might have fallen back in the time now, so... Excuse me. Theo finally finding that opening frag he's been hunting for the past couple of rounds here. He's picked up a kill against Nico. He wanted to push forward a bit there, punishing him. Also, we see too that Rain pushes his way out for outside control, but it's Chris J who's been moving all around this red box area. Picks up the kill against him. He's always been checking for that too, so it's good that he finds a trade. If Ali goes for that kind of a peek, though, that's the problem, though, is that he's going to kind of put himself out there. He's looking for the trade onto Chris, but Chris is long gone. You can see he's wrapped around. He doesn't want anything to do with this. So he will kind of let Alu out here, but as he re-peeks back into the warehouse in a moment, that may be Alu's death toll calling. There's Keo, though, and there's the kill that Keo wanted, sneaking in through the doorway. Good deny by Dennis to stop Alu from getting in there. But also, this is just going to be the call for them to push down the ramp side now, as this is wide open. They already know where the other two are. They can easily push into this site, even mauling it off too, just to prevent them access. That will be moving in from Dennis, but he's going way over here towards. Actually, they may just be. Yeah, actually, they're saving. They're not even going to attempt the 2v3 retake. I guess that kind of makes sense, again, considering the money situation for Mousesports and the fact that they'd already been detected, but also with the economy, or with the utility kind of being down in the dumps, it's just not going to be that great of a situation for Mousesports to try and push for. So actually, it does make pretty good sense to go for the save right there. Now that you kind of look at it in the long-term aspects of things with the money, the utility, and the fact that they had already been detected. So FaZe would have had a pretty good general idea as to where they were moving in from. That, and of course, Speedy down at half HP. So they'll save once more, and they'll let FaZe get a 7th round. FaZe again kind of jetting ahead here. And if we don't see a turnaround soon, this will be looking good for FaZe to continue this. Like I said, the only thing that would really save Mousesports if this continues in dominant form for FaZe is going to be the fact that they just have this crazy T side on Nuke prepped for themselves. But I'm honestly not sure if we could expect that sort of a thing here. This was kind of a wild pick, it seemed, from FaZe, and that oftentimes has been the case for Nuke. Is that it's starting to show more and more, but it's still kind of a case that it shows as like a chaos pick, where it's like some teams may have something prepped for it, but in all reality, they may just be feeling good about their individual performances on that day, and definitely would be the case here, although Oscar again moves in to deny Kiyoshima of that really aggressive peak. So far, it's like 3-1 on Kiyoshima actually getting kills when he does this. Technically, I could say 3-2. He did get 2 in the last round, but if we're doing it on a round-to-round basis, he's tried to peek it 3 times, or on 3 separate rounds where he's just gotten wrecked. And the only time where I've really seen that be pretty successful was back on that last round. Although also has a good lineup against Nico, though. He's going to try to push back up these steps. Goes for it. Now he's got the lineup. This is where that sad part about Chris J not being out here kind of hurts, as he's normally the one that would stop this from happening. But he's nowhere to be seen at the moment. Still hiding tucked away around the corner from that position on outside. So he's not able to stop it, and it will get traded out again down to a 4v4. Still no decision for FaZe yet, though. And they play, so far, as we can see, this very loose style on the T side. They're not really decisively moving in towards any site. It's always just kind of a wait-and-see type of player. They're like playing for picks. They always kind of pressure outside a little bit, even if it's just one player for the most part. I've really only seen 1 or 2 rounds where they just fully pushed into the T entryway and then worked their way either just directly into A or into the ramp room or something like that. But for the most part here, they've always been playing with it, and then based on what they are able to find early on, they either go for a secret push or take it into A main with this outside control. But outside, of course, being very, very important. And we can see Chris J getting into this battle too. Unfortunately, it's pretty evenly traded, but it's the site control which they're looking for, and that's not going to go very well. Oscar and Dennis find those 2 kills. AZ going to trade on to Oscar, but Dennis finding another kill onto AZ. Rain trades it out onto Chris with only 10 seconds left. Rain doesn't have a whole lot of hope left. He's actually moving outside, but Dennis is going to punish. He won't let the timer run out so they can hunt down the extra kind of economical obliteration that they can do against Rain. Just want to end the round there. And there we go. Finally, we're going to see a good round from Mousesports. Getting that read on the FaZe. Punishing Kiyoshima early. Although they do kind of lose outside, there's a light pressure that's thrown in from Chris J, which actually helps out in a really good way of stopping FaZe from getting into the A site really securely. And that combined with just these guys actually winning those opening 1v1s on the A site this time, obviously led to a much better round for Mousesports overall. But again, FaZe still having plenty of cash flow. They will go for a couple players up on top. They're going to break those windows. Haven't seen anything go down into the site just yet, but once more, Mousesports have just gotten used to the fact that this is going to be, for the most part, A plays throughout the entire half. We've really only seen, I think, at most, like 2 or 3 rounds from FaZe, which have gone down to the other site. It's been mainly an A type of team here, and even some of the plays that have gone to B, I think there was 1 or 2 of them when they dropped down through the vents to be able to get into that position. So Oscar's starting to investigate through Secret again, too, as the smokes will begin to broil in with a minute left on that clock. Kind of gets denied early on here, and he sees that flashbang coming. The push is going to move in, though, but Jacob denies it, and they've got a 2-man lineup in old radio, where Ace is going to be able to deny that, but Nico pushing in. He wants some of his own aggressive kills, but he's not paying attention for Kiyoshima, who's still been lurking around this zone for the entire map so far. He spotted the back of Chris J. He's not paying attention. Chris J goes, but oh no! Kiyoshima thought he had gone down, and it wasn't the case. Chris J just plays with the ladder, plays with Kiyoshima. And as soon as Oscar tries to push down, that's where Rain's going to punish. And at least Chris J is your only man standing here still. Alu. Him grabbing the team ace. Well, he may get a chance at it yet, as he's going to drop in. He's looking for that final kill, and he's going to get it. So team ace across the board for FaZe. They respond once more to Mousesports. And again, the tale of woe oftentimes for a CT team is the constant reset, and this is what has happened once more. It's happened on the first round where they picked up Pistol, and we went into that kind of battle there. They lost the force up on round 3, had to reestablish it on round 4. They won the first kind of real gun round here on the 5th round, but then they immediately lost it again, causing another reset. They've been losing since then. They picked up that 1 2 rounds back, and then they immediately lost that. So Mousesports have just been in kind of crap city for the entire half so far, as they've been unable to really establish any sort of good footing for an economy. They've been working with scraps, and because they haven't been able to chain multiple rounds, the scoreline continues to get even worse, because they're just going to get what appears to be, at least economically speaking, these very easy rounds for FaZe, where they're just dealing with P250s. However, P250s have been able to win rounds before, so we don't want to count them out just yet. Moving in here now, plan's going to be very quickly placed, and Mousesports also very quick on the rotate, but that flank from Secret kills a lot of the hit, and Rain, nicely done, finds another headshot against Oscar. Here's the push from Chris J. More than moving in, but Chris J kind of abandons Dennis a bit there. Hugging the water tanks, but it will be Jacob to close him out after he does just find that singular kill. FaZe up at 9 now. And with that one save, though, Mousesports, thankfully, this is the good news, is that they're not like being pushed on the constant double saves. It's almost always single saves here. But by going for such an early reinvestment, again, they do block out the extra utility and whatnot. There's no op really coming into play for the most part on this CT side. And the utility they do bring is very basic. It's 4 smokes and a flashbang. Or 4 so smoke and a flashbang for 4 to 5 of their players. And Oscar isn't even really able to get one. So Nico waiting to punish Keo again early on here since they open that door. But Alu just takes a pot shot through the door. He can see the bullets connecting from Nico, and it actually lights him up. The door wasn't completely gone yet, so he's going to survive, but still, good early damage done. It is Chris J, though, that finds the first kill. Rain and AZ both going down here. And there's that push from Alu. He's going to burn a bit from it, but he does grab Oscar. And now Keo trying to see if anybody crosses in from the garage area. Catches Nico jumping across, shuts him out, but Dennis up on top of the shed does catch the trade. He's looking for more too, and Jacob, for some reason, is not able to find that kill. He knows Alu's there, but too loud on the spray, so Alu's going to take him in through the panels, moving out for more. He actually lights up Speedy to bring him down too, so it wasn't a 1v1, but it was played very smart by Mousesports. They just played it with 2 players, had it set up for trades properly. With that, they were able to win it when it came down to the 1 versus 1. Oscar, though, finally getting himself with an op in hand. So maybe being able to do some magic with that. And Mousesports are fighting back a little bit here. We're actually on the heading towards very close to what we had essentially at the end of the last half on map number 1, too. Mousesports have finally kind of found something they can work with here. That it'll go up to 9-6, but He's also have that potential once again to just deny them outright and reset their economy once more. We would hope with Oscar having the op that we could see some bigger impact, but again, there's going to be Jacob. Oh, just getting the clothesline kill against Speedy. Denies him. Nico's still trying to check to see if anybody's pushing down Secret, but it's not the case. They're just spread across the map once more. They're playing this still. They're playing this very hard to guess strat. Not only this too, but Rain, as you can see from his still up position. Oh, a bit of team damage there. Rain has kind of lurked all the way around the catwalks, so he's got a free entry into this site. There you go. Oscar's down. Down goes the op too, more importantly. And AZ, he spots Chris J, takes him down very quickly. At the moment, FaZe is getting all the angle advantages here, which is making this round actually really easy for them. Nico and Dennis are the last two. There you go, another angle advantage. Dennis not even looking at Ali when he pushes up. And Nico obviously in a 1v5. Not a whole lot of hope for him. More than likely, this is just going to be the 10th for FaZe. We'll see what Nico can do himself as he pushes up. Again, angle advantage. Jesus. I think like 4 to 5 of those kills where someone was caught off guard. So Mousesports, never lucky. We get shut out on that round. And FaZe has a pretty easy one on their hands. As we get into the final round of the half, though, the force buy comes in from Mousesports. And it looks like it's just going to be, I mean, this is all they could afford, but even this isn't that great. 2 Deagles in the mix, a shotgun for Oscar, a CZ, and a 5.7 with basically 0 utility. So FaZe will be good. The problem is you may not want to necessarily rush in the situation. Those pistols can hurt. And we can see that already with Nico and Dennis picking them up. There you go. That's the ultimate issue for FaZe as they walk right into these very mobile pistols. Nico with the back headshot, and of course it's this round that they'll lose. So we'll see Mousesports pick up that one. It'll still be a 10-5 half. Very dominant indeed for FaZe. But I wouldn't say impossible for Mousesports, depending on the way they start this T side off. Obviously, very polarizing scoreline. If we see Mousesports able to start up with a pistol round victory in the following couple of rounds, then they're right back up to 8-10, and we have ourselves another close game. Especially if the traded rounds that we had kind of going on a bit there towards the end continue. Valve comments now. But yeah, just waiting for the players to ready up, guys, and then we will jump back into this one. Bit of an update. Let me see if I can find it really quickly, see how things are going on the other match, other semi-final. Really quickly for you folks here. Envious versus Astralis. Looks like, by the way, they have had to have the fill-in take the place of Devil due to internet issues, but the first map is concluded. They also had Nuke in their set too, and Astralis took that one 16-5. So they're live on the second map now, and it's currently 1-0 for Envious. If HLTV is to be believed, anyway. That is the current run of events. But into the pistol round we shall go. And we're going to see how exactly Mousesports can fare on this pistol. They're going to have to absolutely win this one. What? How did that? Okay. Chris J finds a trade after AZ kills Dennis. Rain and Kiyoshima trade that back out, though. And Speedy is trying to figure out where the hell to shoot. There's players all around him, but he's still fragging it out here. Finally goes down to Jacob, but Chris J pushes right back in, trading out pistols and gets another swipe kill onto Rain. Chris J, also known as Pistol Rambo in this round. And this is going to come down to basically one bullet. It's friggin' paintball now to decide who wins this one. Chris J trying to wrap it out, but again, angle advantage, and it will go to Alu, so FaZe wins it out, and that closes things out. I was really confused with that first shot, because for some reason, it doesn't kill the guy that's standing in front. I don't remember the names exactly, but it kills this guy standing behind him with a headshot. This looked really weird from my perspective, but it's probably one of those, like, GoTV bugs, or just hit detection got really weird or something on me, but it was probably nothing. Anyway. FaZe win the pistol. That's what matters. They get the lead, and unless Mousesports upset in the second round eco, Mousesports are they're in the tub, and the water's starting to boil. That's gonna be a good shot from Speedy though. Finds Rain early on in the round, takes him down, and they're just gonna go for cat control too here. Speedy up on the catwalks. He's now hasn't gotten to the invincible aircon just yet, so he's gonna be a bit vulnerable there. Nico wanting to chase Alu though. He's found him, but Alu actually holds, just barely survives that. Down at 2 HP. He's going to go back inside of the locker room to see if he can catch the other player that snuck around. He hasn't been able to detect where exactly he's pushing in from just yet, but he does have opponents lurking in on him. In the meantime, though, Jacob and Kiyoshima fragging out from inside. As Kiyoshima jumps back down here, very good site control is being held. Dennis and Chris J. Well, Chris J finding one more pickup, but Jacob moves in to shut it down. And it's just Dennis here. He does find that one quick kill on the Jacob, and also retrieves the P92. Considering how low Alu is, he may yet have a chance at this one. But the more time he waits, the more time he gives for FaZe to try and line up their defenses here. And the door being open. Alu waiting. Ooh, but he actually does react in time. Now he's just got to find AZ. Very, very close this one will be. If he'd gone out, he might have been a dead man. AZ is also waiting for it too. This smoke. It looks like actually Dennis is going to be smart about this if he goes out the window. That's going to give him a lot more room to work with there. And Dennis actually pulls out the clutch. 3K at the end of the round. And with that, Mousesports on the 3v1 bring out the second round upset and turn this half on its head right from the beginning. Same as the last half here. Pistol buys come out from FaZe. They're going to go right for it. Deagles on Rain, Jacob, AZ, all picking them up. They do not want to let that go unpunished. So now, with that said, we'll see Mousesports upsetting in that round, and FaZe, of course, looking to do the same here. And they're going to waste no time getting aggressive, but the problem is they didn't really focus on outside pressure at all. They all try to push the inner bomb sites. So while Rain is the only one here defending, he has picked up one kill. This is where they're going to punish, though. Actually, AZ, he gets that second kill. Dennis finding an additional pickup onto Rain. And the other three from Mousesports. We may see this half get very, very crazy right from the beginning of things. As we're just going to see Mousesports here trying to group up once again to make sure that they can go for a solid hit into one of these sites. But FaZe have already upset it here at the beginning. And now it's all about where exactly they're going to try to take this towards. Dennis grouping up. Please ignore the sirens in the background, by the way, if you can hear that. But they're now going to send Kiyoshima up over here towards heaven, where he can hear Speedy moving up, but it's a bit of a weird angle there with that ladder in the way, and Speedy is going to punish it. And now the rest of Mousesports, even once again into a 3-on-3. I do like the way that Mousesports is playing this. Here's the thing, is like FaZe took these more aggressive rounds head first. They went very aggressively towards it. Whereas Mousesports is playing a lot more cautiously. It's a line that to get trades, including Speedy grabbing those first two kills, or two big kills there. But Alu pushes back up the vents, trades it against Speedy. And now it leaves just Dennis alive here, who gets the plant. Alu trying to peek out. He's going to finish it off. And again, another eco upset comes in here. This time for FaZe. They're going to be able to claim this round. And with that, FaZe will get themselves up to a 12th round. Mousesports, unfortunately, still floating behind. But the good news is, if this comes down to sort of a war of attrition thing, eventually FaZe will kind of run out of cash. Conversely, though, with the current scoreline, FaZe will probably win the actual match before that happens, as this can go kind of forever. There was one match that I think we had in the North American Pro League about a week ago that literally had this go for like the first 7 rounds before someone actually won. So probably wouldn't pay off so well for FaZe if they were to just, or apologies for Mousesports, I should say, if they were to just continue to trade rounds back and forth for like 6 or 7 straight. Especially considering we wouldn't have any real guns in play. But anyway, it's going to be some more probably early aggression coming out from the side of Mousesports, as they do push themselves over here to get that control outside very quickly. Rain will be here to respond, but with that smoke in the way, he really can't see all that much. He's going to try to peek out, and he's got an angle on the left side, and there we go, he punishes. He's going to stay out in the open too, grabs a second one. There's no follow-up at all from Mousesports. He gets those kills for free, and now Alu pushing back in, out from hell, onto the sidewalk there. Kiyoshima's even going to drop down just to check the shed. They know the site's clear. Speeding Chris J, they don't even know what to do at this point. Rain moving in. Bring Speedy down to 12 HP. He'll survive for now. There's Chris J. At the very least, he survives. Picks up that kill against Jacob. But for Speedy, he's unfortunately trapped. Any attempt he makes, he moves to get out of there, will more than likely lead to his death, as you've just seen. And now it's just Chris J. He goes down to Kiyoshima. That'll give FaZe this one. And they will be just 3 more away from taking control of this second map and pushing them into the finals here of the ESL 1 New York qualifiers here for 2016. So now again, we're going to see Mousesports, and this is basically the breaking point too for Mousesports, as unfortunate as it is. You don't want to see them try and claim this one here. They're basically just on upgraded pistols. They need to go for the full save, and they're running right into Jacob here. Still picked up for him. He's going to chain 2 more together after that. And even Kiyoshima doing work with a shotgun too. That hit just ends very quickly at the old radio hallway leading up to ramp. So 14th round, no problem at all. But that full save for Mousesports, of course, does let them get into a buy round finally. Obviously just getting basically the essentials here. No Molotovs, no HE grenades, but they do have smokes for the entire team. For the most part, they've got enough flashbangs. And they've got the AKs. No op, though. This was a thing that FaZe was missing for a while. The good news is it didn't impact them super negatively, so long as they didn't try to go for as heavy outside control. FaZe are also still working with a lot of their guns from the anti-eco, too, which means they're probably in that same boat. It's going to make the round a bit awkward, as we can see at the start, but Nico picks up that first kill while Alu trades. They're still kind of brawling for control out here. Speedy picks up that kill. Dennis actually takes down AZ, as AZ royally messes up his battle. Dennis is brought down to 4 HP, but AZ for some reason cannot find that last bullet to eliminate him. Now what they've got left is Jacob and Kiyoshima working with either an SMG or a shotgun, and Kiyoshima's not going to survive for very long. Jacob at least gets that one. He's got an AK on the ground to trade out towards. 3 more players to eliminate. You hear one pushing towards him, but Speedy just denies it, eliminates him. And Mousesports win a very, very important round to keep them in the running for this match. But, again, FaZe had plenty of cash to work with. We're still basically just sitting on their guns from the anti-eco, and they're going to have no problem rebuying, which now includes that op onto Alu, something that Mousesports still does not have at this point. Full utility also to be said for this entire team too, so Mousesports are not necessarily out of the hot seat just yet, and another very important thing to note too is their money is still in a pretty bad spot because of rebuys they had to go for, losing 2 of their players there. Those guys having to go right back into things with another investment. Now again, we will see from Mousesports how they can proceed a little bit more direct with their outside play than we were seeing from FaZe in the first half there. You can see Nico just pushing right for it. Good smokes too do allow Nico to get a lot of outside control as he moves in here, but now the hit actually starts on the inside area here where Oscar finds the first kill. Kiyoshima, Rain, and AZ is really cleaning it up. It's all onto Nico now in a 1v4. He drops it on the corner, and Alu shuts it down, so FaZe get themselves up to the 15th round. And with that, guys, FaZe is 1 more away from taking this out and sending them to the final against their opponent there, which is either, once again, going to be Envious or Astralis, pending the results of their second map, which at the moment is going quite handily, quite handily into the favor of Envious, which means we may see a 3rd map there, which is, for you guys watching this stream, you may have a bit of a wait, assuming FaZe do close this out. But in Mousesports go, they're just going to rush right for it, and we can see it. 2 for 2, actually. Mousesports somehow make this work. But they took a lot of damage. Oscar and Speedy down to 36 HP, and, well, they just get wrecked. They find those final 3 kills, and that's it. FaZe is going to close this one out. It's going to be a 2-0 victory for them here. Oh, I don't know what the game just did, but apparently it lost itself. That is going to end this one, guys. And with that, that is going to send FaZe onwards to the finals. Like I said before, they're going to go up against either Envious or Astralis, pending the results of their best of 3. That's also going on live right now. I believe one of our moderators in the chat can probably link that for you guys. But for now, we're gonna go back to another break, and as soon as we have the next one ready, we'll bring that up for you. We might have a bit of a treat for you in between too, so you don't want to leave us just yet. But for now, no, that's gonna be it for me. So we'll be bringing you back in just a little bit as soon as we have the grand finals ready to rock and roll right here on this channel.